In February 2026, the unemployment rate for black women in the United States climbed to 7.1%. That's nearly double the rate for white women and well above the national average. Over 100,000 black women were pushed out of the labor market in 2025 alone, with federal layoffs hitting them hardest. But here's the unexpected twist the mainstream outlets refuse to say out loud. These numbers are not simply about economic slowdowns or policy changes. They are the visible result of something far more insidious. A quiet, everyday discrimination that begins the moment a skilled, confident black woman walks into the office and refuses to shrink herself to fit other people's comfort. Her confidence gets called aggressive. Her ideas get dismissed or stolen. Her promotions disappear without explanation. And when she still delivers strong results, the praise goes to everyone else. This is not happening in just one country or one industry. In 2026, the same pattern is repeating in corporate offices from New York to London, in tech hubs across Europe, and in expanding markets around the world. Hidden biases in performance reviews, the persistent angry black woman stereotype, and new algorithmic tools are creating a global trap. In the next 40 minutes, I'm exposing the hidden mechanisms that corporations and governments hope you never connect. How the same subtle resistance plays out across continents. How it isolates talented black women. And why this discrimination is accelerating right now in 2026 despite all the talk of equality and inclusion. You will see the statistics, the anonymous cases, and the identical playbook being used worldwide. By the end, you will understand exactly why her strength becomes both her shield and the reason she is targeted. It only gets worse when you realize this is not fading. It is evolving with tools that were supposed to remove bias, but often make it worse. Stick with me. What you are about to hear could change how you see every workplace around you. If you are tired of the media painting workplace inequality as just a few bad apples while ignoring the systemic patterns that hit black women the hardest, then your silence right now helps the system keep running exactly as designed. Every view that gets buried means fewer people see the truth. Every unsubscribed channel means these exposing videos get suppressed by the algorithm. Your like and subscribe right now is not just support. It is resistance. It forces the platform to push this truth to millions who need to hear it. Millions of black women carrying the emotional weight of showing up authentically every single day while facing quiet pushback. Hit that like button if you are done with the gaslighting. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you do not miss the next layer of this global expose. Your action today ensures this does not stay hidden. The system counts on your apathy. Prove them wrong right now. Today we are going global on discrimination against black women at work. From high-rise offices in American cities where confidence is labeled aggression, to European workplaces where the same competence gets overlooked, to corporate environments in Asia and beyond where subtle exclusion follows the exact same script. We will examine 4 key areas that reveal the pattern. The angry black woman trap in performance reviews, the invisible promotion and pay ceiling that persists despite identical results, the role of biased artificial intelligence in hiring mechanisms, and the isolation tactics that make her feel alone even in a crowded office. The one big insight you will walk away with is this. This is not random bias or individual prejudice. It is a coordinated, repeatable playbook that punishes black women specifically for refusing to diminish their presence, their voice, and their excellence. And in 2026, with economic pressures and technological changes, it is not disappearing. It is getting smarter and harder to prove. By the end of this video, you will never see a normal office interaction, a performance review, or a hiring decision the same way again. You will spot the hidden mechanisms. You will understand why our hard work often goes unnoticed, while others advance on less. And you will see how this discrimination crosses borders faster than ever before. This video connects the dots the mainstream refuses to connect. It shows how small daily resistances add up to massive career barriers. And it reveals why staying true to herself makes her both powerful and targeted. If you have ever wondered why talented black women seem to hit invisible walls at work, or if you work alongside them and sense something is off but cannot name it, this is for you. The truth is uncomfortable, but ignoring it lets the pattern continue. Let's expose it. Discrimination against black women in the workplace did not start in 2025 or 2026. Its roots trace back centuries to intersecting systems of racial and gender oppression that position black women as essential labor yet perpetual outsiders. From post-slavery domestic and service roles where their work was devalued, through civil rights eras where legal gains were unevenly applied, the pattern has always been the same. Demand their labor but punish any assertion of full humanity or excellence that challenges comfort. Historically, stereotypes like the strong black woman who endures silently or the angry black woman who dares to speak up have served to justify lower pay, fewer opportunities, and emotional policing. These were not just cultural tropes. They shape hiring, promotions, and daily interactions for generations. But in 2026, this discrimination has evolved into something more sophisticated and borderless. The old overt hostility has largely been replaced by subtle mechanisms: tone policing in meetings, biased feedback in reviews, exclusion from informal networks, and now algorithmic tools that embed old biases into supposedly neutral technology. Why is it exploding now? Economic volatility in 2025 and 2026, including mass federal layoffs that disproportionately affected black women, with over 100,000 net job losses, combined with a rollback of diversity initiatives in many corporations, created wider room for unchecked bias. When employers have larger candidate pools or face pressure to cut costs, they default to familiar preferences, those who fit the existing culture without challenge. Add artificial intelligence hiring and performance tools trained on historical data that already underrepresented or negatively portray black women, and the problem scales globally. A tool deployed in one country influences decisions in another through multinational corporations. Conversations stop when she enters the room. Decisions happen without her input. Praise goes elsewhere despite her results. The tension builds quietly, rooted in bias rather than performance. Yet she continues showing up with skill, focus, and unapologetic presence. That refusal to shrink is exactly what triggers resistance. This is not ancient history. It is happening in real time, in offices worldwide, accelerated by the very tools marketed as progress. The mainstream talks about inclusion, while the mechanisms ensuring exclusion get more efficient. Today, we pull back the curtain. Shocking proof first. Studies and reports consistently show black women are labeled aggressive or difficult for behaviors that are praised in others. Black women report hearing surprise at their language skills or competence at rates 2 to 3 times higher than white women. The angry black woman stereotype activates even when the tone is neutral or professional. 3 key statistics. Black women are far more likely to face tone policing in meetings. They experience higher rates of disrespectful comments. And when they express any frustration, even justified, it is attributed to personality rather than circumstances, unlike their counterparts. 3 examples from different settings. In corporate America, a project leads direct feedback gets flagged as hostile. In a London financial firm, similar assertiveness leads to human resources complaints. In Canadian tech, her questions about project direction are reframed as attitude problems. Consider this anonymous case from a major U.S. corporation in 2025. A highly skilled black woman with an advanced degree joined a team known for its collaborative culture. She delivered exceptional results on tight deadlines. Yet in performance reviews, managers noted her communication style as concerning. Co-workers described her confidence as intimidating when she advocated for her ideas in meetings the same way others did. Conversations reportedly shifted, and she was later excluded from key discussions. Over months, she felt increasingly isolated. Promotions went to less experienced colleagues. When she raised a pattern privately, it was twisted into evidence of her being oversensitive. The hidden mechanism is simple. The stereotype serves as a convenient filter. It allows decision-makers to dismiss legitimate concerns or excellence without examining their own discomfort with a black woman who refuses to code switch into subservience. It punishes presence itself. Who benefits? The existing power structure maintains comfort and homogeneity. This spreads globally through multinational training programs and shared corporate cultures that export these biases. 3 countries where this plays out identically: the United States in performance reviews, the United Kingdom in team dynamics, and Australia in client-facing roles. The playbook is exactly the same, but it gets worse. This labeling does not just hurt feelings. It directly blocks advancement and feeds straight into the next layer of discrimination. Shocking proof. Black women face significant promotion gaps. They are promoted to manager at lower rates than white women, with race cited as a barrier by nearly half in some surveys. Wage gaps persist too. Black women earn substantially less than white men for similar work, with losses accumulating to hundreds of thousands of dollars over a career. In 2026, reports their unemployment climbed while others stabilized. 3 statistics. Promotion rates for black women lagged despite higher labor participation in some sectors. Pay equity studies reveal gaps of 30% or more versus white male counterparts. Retention suffers as many leave after repeated denials. 3 examples. A marketing executive in New York delivers campaigns that boost revenue but watches white colleagues advance. In a Paris-based multinational, similar results yield no recognition. In Singapore, offices of global firms' opportunities bypass her for cultural fit reasons. Another faceless case. A black woman in a European bank's operations team consistently exceeded targets. Her reports were flawless. Yet feedback mentioned lack of leadership presence, code for not matching unspoken expectations. When she sought clarification, responses were vague. Promotions went to peers with weaker metrics. She noticed patterns in who got mentored informally. Isolation grew. Eventually, the emotional toll mounted, but she persisted with excellence. The hidden mechanism is subjective evaluations disguised as potential or fit. This allows bias to operate without clear documentation. Informal networks exclude her from sponsorship. Corporations benefit by maintaining leadership that looks and thinks alike, reducing perceived risk. This spreads via global human resources policies and shared evaluation templates. 3 countries. The United States in tech and finance, the United Kingdom in public and private sectors, and South Africa in corporate environments. The same ceiling exists everywhere, but the story deepens when technology enters the picture. Shocking proof. Artificial intelligence resume screening and evaluation tools show clear biases. Studies reveal white associated names are favored overwhelmingly over black ones. Intersectional effects hit black women uniquely in some models, while others disadvantage based on proxies like names, education history, or language patterns. 3 statistics. In controlled tests, white names were selected far more frequently. Black associated resumes were penalized in ranking. Performance algorithms label based on biased historical data. 3 examples. Hiring tools in U.S. firms filter out strong black female candidates. European companies using similar software replicate the patterns. Asian branches of multinationals import the same technology. Case from a 2025 tech rollout. A qualified black woman applied through an AI system. Her resume, strong experience and results-oriented, scored lower due to name and phrasing flags. Human reviewers influenced by the initial score passed her over. Later investigations showed the model had been trained on past hires that underrepresented similar profiles. She faced repeated cycles. The supposedly neutral tool hid the discrimination perfectly. The hidden mechanism is that algorithms learn from biased past data, using proxies such as zip codes, schools, or wording that correlate with race and gender. Companies adopt them for efficiency and to avoid accountability. Benefits accrue to those controlling the technology and data. It spreads rapidly as software-as-a-service tools go global. 3 countries. The United States with widespread adoption, Canada with government-linked systems, and India with outsourced human resources technology. The risks are identical. The isolation completes the trap. Shocking proof. Black women report being the only one of their kind in rooms at high rates, leading to heightened scrutiny. Conversations halt when they enter. Their input is minimized. Microaggressions accumulate into heavy emotional labor. 3 statistics. A high percentage feel race hinders advancement. Exclusion from networks is well documented. Higher turnover is linked to peer composition. More white coworkers often correlates with worse outcomes for black women. 3 examples. In a U.S. office, conversations shift when she enters a room. In a U.K. team, she is excluded from after-work bonding. In an Australian project, decisions bypass her entirely. In a multinational firm, a black woman excelled, but notice meetings continue without incorporating her insights. Co-workers form subgroups. Feedback loops ignored her contributions. The isolation eroded support and amplified every other bias. She stood firm, but the weight was immense. The hidden mechanism is that social and professional networks self-segregate for comfort. Fit culture justifies exclusion. This maintains dominance while forcing extra emotional work on her. It benefits the in-group and spreads through global team structures and remote or hybrid norms. 3 countries, the United States, Germany, and Brazil, show the same dynamics in diverse corporate settings. This brings us to the full picture. Global pattern reveal. Here is the pattern nobody wants to admit in 2026. Whether in American corporations facing economic headwinds, European firms emphasizing professionalism, or global tech companies expanding into new markets, the playbook is identical. First, they label confidence as aggression, using the angry black woman stereotype. Then they undervalue results in subjective reviews and deny promotions under fit excuses. Next, they deploy artificial intelligence tools trained on bias history to filter at entry or during evaluation. Finally, they isolate through network exclusion, forcing her to carry extra emotional burden while she stays authentic. These identical mechanisms cross continents because multinationals share human resources systems, evaluation criteria, and now artificial intelligence platforms. Economic pressures in 2025 and 2026, including layoffs and diversity initiative rollbacks, widen the space for these biases to operate unchecked. When choices must be made, familiarity wins. And familiarity rarely includes unapologetic black women. The accelerator in 2026 is artificial intelligence and data-driven decisions that scale old prejudices at lightning speed. Reduced oversight after policy shifts. Global talent competition that lets employers pick safely. The result is that skilled black women deliver excellence but face resistance precisely because they refuse to shrink. This is not coincidence. It is a self-reinforcing system that devalues their presence while extracting their labor. From federal job losses disproportionately affecting them to corporate ceilings, the dots connect clearly. The disturbing truth is that her strength, the very refusal to diminish herself, triggers the targeting. It challenges comfort. It exposes the fragility of the status quo. Across the globe, the pattern holds because power protects itself. But once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Now here's a powerful question based on today's title: discrimination against black women at work. If a black woman brings skill, confidence, and authentic presence to her job, refusing to shrink or code switch, but still faces subtle resistance, tone policing, and missed opportunities anyway, is the real problem her attitude or the workplace's inability to value her without discomfort? Comment below with your honest answer or your own story from your country or workplace. Have you witnessed the angry black woman label being misused? Seen promotion skip deserving talent? Noticed artificial intelligence or reviews stacking the deck? Or worked in an environment where isolation creeps in silently? Be honest. Your experiences help connect more dots for everyone watching. The algorithm favors engaged videos, so your comment makes this truth spread further. I read many of them. The most eye-opening will shape future episodes. Speak up now. Uncomfortable question plus reflection. Here is the deep question I want every viewer to wrestle with. If we know the patterns, the stereotypes, the gaps, the mechanisms, and the global repetition, and we continue treating them as isolated incidents rather than a connected system, what does that say about our collective commitment to real fairness? Reflect on the consequences if nothing changes. Talented black women will keep burning out from the extra labor of navigating bias while delivering results. Corporations will lose innovation and face quiet talent drains. Societies will widen inequality gaps that fuel broader tensions. In 2026 and beyond, as artificial intelligence scales decisions, unaddressed bias could lock in disadvantages for generations. Her refusal to shrink is not the issue. The pushback against her full self is. If workplaces punish authenticity from certain groups, they are not merit-based. They are comfort-based. The emotional weight she carries, showing up proud despite the resistance, highlights human resilience. But no one should need armor just to do their job well. If we stay silent or look away, we enable the pattern. Talking about it, demanding transparency in reviews and tools, and supporting accountability is how it shifts. The world is watching how we respond to these exposures in 2026. Will we connect the dots or keep pretending they are not there? Strong conclusion. The biggest takeaway is clear and hard-hitting. Discrimination against Black women at work in 2026 is not loud hostility. It is quiet, efficient, and global. It punishes confidence, undervalues results, deploys technology to hide bias, and isolates to maintain control. The playbook is the same across borders because the incentives are the same. She enters with skill and self-respect. She faces resistance not for failing, but for refusing to fail herself. This reveals more about the spaces she enters than about her. We can no longer pretend these are separate stories. The statistics, cases, and mechanisms prove a connected reality. Ignoring it lets the system win. The truth exposed today demands that we see workplaces differently and act accordingly. Thank you for watching this full expose on discrimination against Black women at work. It takes courage to sit with uncomfortable truths, and I appreciate you staying until the end. If this opened your eyes, share the video with someone who needs to see it, a colleague, friend, or family member. Your share helps push back against the suppression. Subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and join the community exposing these global patterns. Next video is even darker. We will dive into how artificial intelligence discrimination is evolving beyond hiring into daily performance tracking worldwide. Stay aware. The patterns are real, but so is the power to challenge them.